jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports,
Shout out to the others chatting the MFing game. A-side official. No negotiation needed, period. You already know what it is. The first in the building. Salute to you. Collins, what's good? Salute. What's good? James Edwards on deck. Yes, sir. You know what I'm saying? He said he never heard of him. I'm not sure who you talking about. But shout out to Lisa Bells. I appreciate you sharing the content, Lisa. Even though I haven't figured out why I don't see you. But shout out to the OG Lisa Bells, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's get right down to it. I may talk about the presser, but it's really nothing to talk about. The only highlight was a conversation between Keyshawn Davis and Teofimo Lopez based off what T.O. said about Keyshawn coming up and wanting the picture. And the reason why, he kind of went at him because I guess Keyshawn said that Crawford would beat him. So it's just back and forth, T.O. said to Keyshawn, don't call me out after the fight. I don't know what that's about. I don't know why Keyshawn would even think about calling him out. I don't know why. But, since everybody's calling him out, the team for Keyshawn might have said, hey, Keyshawn, why don't you call him out and see how he feels? See if he likes that type of energy. You know what I'm saying? See where his temperature at. You know what I'm saying? Teams do that now. And Keyshawn is on the same card as T.O. Well, congratulations to those fighters who made weight. You know what I'm saying? It's official. You're going to, have the big names is on the card like Abdullah Mason. You know what I'm saying? He's going in there with an undefeated fighter. You got Keyshawn going in there with a veteran. And, what's his name? Pedraza. Jose Pedraza. And then you have the main event with Teofimo Lopez and Jermaine Ortiz. I think it should turn up. It should turn up tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? To be honest, it should turn up tomorrow. And then they had the presser for Sinisa Estrada and Yokasta Valier. They have been going back and forth, of course. And, it would have been good if both of them chose to, speak English or whatever. But they thought it was going to be some personal verbal sparring going back and forth at the presser. Estrada tried to make it interesting. But it's going to be a good fight for Undisputed. You know what I'm saying? If you don't remember, one of Sinisa Estrada's memorable fights was when she went in there with the 5-0 soccer mom that shouldn't have never been in the ring with Estrada. Never. She almost caught a body. She almost caught a body, y'all. But anyway, To the topic at hand, man. BOMAC has came out, and of course, boxing scene had it on tap. Crawford's trainer Brian BOMAC McIntyre has once again made his feelings be heard about what he thinks about Jaron Ennis. Okay, so this is becoming Andrew Charles on deck. What's good? This is becoming a reoccurring theme. You know what I'm saying? Omnipresence. Why? Because people tend to continue to bring up Ennis's name, which I understand. They don't have anything else to do. They're bored. And the more and more they talk about it, they're going to do process of elimination, right? They're going to look at what's not going on in boxing, and then they're going to try to talk about what they will want to be going on in boxing. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot that's not going on in the sport right now. So they're going to talk about what they want to be going on, and that is those particular pundits that wants to see Ennis or see Crawford, I would say Crawford, fight Jaron Ennis, who resume doesn't stack up. I've said it, and I'll say it again. His resume doesn't add up to step in there just because he has a championship belt. Crawford is at the back end of his career. He said he probably has 1 or 2 fights, and he's out. So when it's all said and done, you have to understand where Brian BOMAC is coming from. Let's frolic over here in boxing scene right quick. They say enough with Jaron Ennis talk. Brian BOMAC McIntyre has grown both tired of hearing his name and vexed when prognosticators spew that he's done enough to earn a fight with Terrence Crawford. Once again, prognosticators spew that he's done enough to earn a fight with Terrence Crawford. I've said this about these prognosticators. They're just desperate. They want some type of form of entertainment. You cannot go through all those years, like I always say, and put all these stipulations on what Crawford should have did to fight Spence and what he didn't do, what he need to do, and all that stuff. But now all of a sudden, y'all have different to none criteria that Ennis doesn't have to abide by. He doesn't have to be held to a standard. It goes on to say, from a skill standpoint, maybe he has, but in terms of, hold on for a second, y'all. Okay, I'm back, man. Appreciate everyone who's still in the building. Of course, AU on deck, on the Brown on deck. Salute to y'all. Um, hey, you say shout out WCS, Detroit Love. Bud ain't stupid. Fight boots for some chump change in your local YMCA just for an excuse afterwards. Hey, man, talk that talk, man. Talk that talk. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the one and only, y'all. I don't know if this may be the first one, but I am throwing my hands up and down with the red carpet out. One of the hardest working women in the sport of boxing, y'all. In the ring with Christine. Much respect to you. You know what I'm saying? You are definitely an OG in the sport. Appreciate you pulling up. You know what I'm saying? Y'all definitely check out In the Ring. She basically trains fighters. She has her own gym over there. Her son's box, I believe. She deals with the USA boxing team. You know what I'm saying? She's one of the heavy hitters in the sport, man. I'm talking about like not just behind the mic, but putting in training, in the sport of boxing. Shout out to you. Appreciate you pulling up. Hopefully all is well over there. I think you're in Texas. Collins Jr. Boxing Ego put a post up, Jaron Ennis versus Sugar Ray Leonard today. Who will win in their prime? Sometimes you just gotta ignore people. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you gotta ignore people, man. Sugar Ray would have lit his man. Come on, man. Come on, man. It's too many classics out there for Sugar Ray. Too many classics. Prognosticate, foretell, or prophesize the future. Hey, I'll take that. I'll take that. You explaining what it is. You know what I'm saying? Boots can pull up in Colorado and spar Bud and get that work. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know what it is. Shout out to Big Blunts of Boxing on deck. What's good? Currently in Colorado, but from Texas. Okay, for sure. Y'all definitely check out In the Ring with Christine. Real talk. You know what I'm saying? Definitely a hitter. You know what I'm saying? Train these fighters. A big deal in the USA boxing team. You know what I'm saying? She's doing her thing. And she does podcasting too. On Wednesdays. She's been in the game for a while. You know what I'm saying? I got mad respect for her. Real talk. I mean, I think she's the hardest working woman in boxing. She might not get a credit, but she will. I think you will, Christine. You know what I'm saying? I think you will sooner or later get your credit. You know? Let's see if Boots beat Blair Cause if he can. I don't know if he can. So, that's a good point. I'm going to get back to it. Shout out to Carlos on deck. Let me finish reading this article. From a skill standpoint, maybe he has, but in terms of accomplishments and name value, fighting Ennis simply isn't worth it. Okay? So, at the end of the day, you know how I put the low FICO up there for Jaron Ennis. Look at what they just said. Eddie Hearn said, incorrect commercial value. Now boxing scene is coming and speaking about, but in terms of accomplishments and name value, fighting Ennis simply isn't worth it. Okay? So all of you out here that's saying I'm hating, you can say what you want. If you're still stuck on hating and not understanding, there's other platforms out here that pretty much spoke, in different, terms or whatever. When I put the boxing FICO up there, Eddie Hearn said incorrect commercial value. Boxing scene saying, in terms of accomplishments, name value, it simply isn't worth it. BOMAC said he don't bring nothing to the table. BOMAC told a group of reporters when asked if Crawford would be willing to fight Ennis next. He got our leftovers. He said he got our leftovers. Boxing scene goes on to elaborate. By and large, Ennis 31-0, 28 knockouts is irrelevant to BOMAC. He did recently win his first title, but the longtime trainer has a hard time respecting how things played out. Just a few months after Crawford issued a one-sided beating to Errol Spence Jr. to become an undisputed champion, the IBF sanctioned body stripped Crawford and elevated Ennis. Their reasoning was, according to Team Crawford, but they've come to reluctantly accept their decision. BOMAC, however, doesn't want to hear it. Ennis and his supporters are bombastically bloviating. This author is using some $5 to $11.25 words. So just bear with, me reading this. Ennis and his supporters are bombastically bloviating about a fight that simply won't happen. From their point of view, taking on Ennis is a lose-lose situation. He won't deliver. Crawford 40-0, 31 knockouts with life-changing money, nor will he place an addendum on his Hall of Fame resume. They won't place an addendum. He say for now, Crawford is hoping that he can line up a fight with Canelo Alvarez. Doing so will provide him with everything he needs before walking away from the sport. With Alvarez firmly on their mind, BOMAC has a question for the boxing world. Now, why would Bud want to go backwards? Pay attention, y'all. You know what I'm saying? This is BOMAC. People tend to not respect his boxing knowledge. People tend to overlook the instructions that he was giving Crawford July 29th, 2023. There was very conducive advice that he was giving, play by play. He was giving him instructions that dealt with the data he collected from the round before. And every bit of instruction that he voiced to Crawford went out there and executed. You got to respect the team as a whole, that they're working as a unit. He said, why would Bud want to go backward? Bud is looking for bigger and better fights so he can etch his name in the concrete forever. That's all I'm trying to say. My criticism of Jaron Ennis is not personal. All I'm saying is basically emphasizing that Bud gets nothing out of this fight just because it's a title. They say they don't want to place an addendum. You know what I'm saying? An addendum on his Hall of Fame resume. You can look at that however you want. But if you dig into it, you will totally understand what they're saying. They don't want to become 3-time undisputed by beating a fighter who had a subpar resume, but yet people want to continue to look at the amount of fights he had. That's not cool. That's not cool at all. People have to understand that they're not trying to influence Canelo Alvarez to fight a fighter that don't make sense for him at this time. Canelo is only fighting fighters that's had some type of relevance to them. You know what I'm saying? Some type of relevance. And for the paycheck. You know what I'm saying? He's at a point right now, he's just making incredible amount of money. And Crawford, that's where he want to be at. He said, I want to make the biggest fights. I'm not trying to go backwards. I'm not trying to moonwalk. I'm not trying to waste my time. I'm on my way out the door. I'm having a mansion built. I want to expound on the investments that I have. You know what I'm saying? He talked about how he had multiple properties over there in Colorado. You know what I'm saying? Commercial value too. The land that he bought. He want to make enough money to continue to expand that when he decides to hang it up, and also to put back in the community, especially the gym that he's, the B&B boxing gym. You know what I'm saying? So he gets none of that with Jaron Ennis. I say this, for those of you that's listening, it should be treated just like the people that don't want to see the rematch with Crawford and Spence. Why? Why? Spence's resume is better than Ennis. Why don't you want to see the former unified champion in a rematch? You're being hypocrites at the end of the day. Because if you looked at it and balanced it out. It doesn't take that much thought process. You've seen what Crawford did to someone who had a resume, who was on the pound for pound list. Now that's over. You want him to fight somebody who's severely below the greatest standard to be able to grace the square with Crawford. Don't try to make it just about boxing now. Oh, it's just boxing. No, it's not. It's about legacy. It's about Hall of Fame. You're talking about a fighter who's trying to be, when he leaves the sport, people are talking about him like the standard, the bar. You know what I'm saying? That's what he's trying to do. Y'all up here, trying to give vouchers out, Ennis vouchers, to say, here you go right here. Just keep this, and if the fight happen, you're going to get some free concessions, okay? You know what I'm saying? That voucher right there is good for $3.50 of concession. Free concessions, okay? So what we want you to do in reality is talk good about this fight. You know what I'm saying? Talk good about this fight. If it's good enough, we'll send you some more vouchers, okay? So you can hand them out to some friends. That's not what we're dealing with here. You should treat it just like the Spence fight. You don't want to see the Spence fight because Crawford went in there and beat the pound for pound fighter easily. Why do you feel that a fighter who didn't fight for a championship, who has Errol Spence's old belt, who went in the backyard of Kell Brook and beat him for the title, why is he warranted to jump the line without going through the whole freaking approval process? What is going on here, man? Boxing, y'all want to treat it like all of a sudden it's a new year and new stupid. New year and new stupid. Let me sit up here and act like I don't know shit about boxing. Let me act like all the debates and criticism and back and forth arguments that was going on, it didn't exist. You know what I'm saying? It didn't exist. I'm going to say, a person who received the belt via email, didn't fight a champion for it, is better than Errol Spence rematch. No, Errol Spence rematch is still bigger than a Crawford versus Boots. Seriously. Hands down. I don't care what age you're talking about. You got to look at least Spence went over in the backyard of Kell Brook and fought for the title. There wasn't an email notification that came by that said, you have mail. We didn't get that. He actually went in the backyard of Kell Brook. Even though there was circumstances, I'm not here to talk about that today. I'm just saying that Errol Spence is still more qualified than Boots Ennis to rate a rematch with Crawford, period. He has one loss, man, 28-1. He has one freaking loss. Pound for pound fighter. Much better resume than Ennis could ever think of right now. And yeah, he rates to get a rematch before Ennis gets a fight with Crawford, period. That's all I'm saying. There's a lot of what people are trying to put together here. They trying to come up with all these pieces. They're not even puzzle pieces, y'all. They're just little specks that they're trying to put in there like a kaleidoscope and trying to paint some motherfucking picture and say, hey, take a look at that. Don't that look nice? Yeah, it's very colorful. What is it? Man, hey, it's shaping up to be something special. I don't know what it is right now, but we're putting different pieces there. Man, the more and more you look at it, oh man, you're going to look at that shit as a Picasso. But right now, just look through the little viewfinder and it's going to change up. And yeah, we're working on it. That's all we can say. We're working on it. When it comes to Ennis, man, they busy up here putting pieces and pieces, trying to come up with new information. You know what I'm saying? New language. No, you can come up with all the language that you want, but you got the same fighter. A fighter that hasn't really been in there. Somebody mentioned Blair Cobbs. I would definitely like to see that fight. Why not? Why can't you give Blair Cobbs a shot? I mean, to be honest, I wouldn't put y'all on the same level, of course. You got a belt, he doesn't. But people wouldn't frown upon that. He did go in there and get a win over Maurice Hooker. I mean, get a man a freaking shot, dog. Give him a shot. Everybody else is fighting these fighters. You got Sebastian Fundora going in there after being knocked out and about to get his title shot. You got Tim Tszyu that's set to fight Keith Thurman. I mean, find somebody other than riding the coattails and the wave of Crawford to dance with. That's all. There has to be other names out here to dance with, bro. You know, if it's Stantionis, which, you know, a team member from over there in Philly, I would say a gym member, if they're a team member, he pretty much said the possibility may be Stantionis. I'm not sure. Because with this sport, information changes all the time. So I'm not sure if it's going to be Stantionis or not. But that's kind of, you know, what Ortiz had led us to believe. Okay? So you didn't hear that from me as far as me saying it's set in stone he's going to fight Stantionis. But per the Boxing Scene article, if you have a pen, you know, you're able to put this in your notes on your phone. You know, remember, BOMAC made a very, very good point. Why would Bud want to go backwards? He cannot be going forward. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about a non-pound for pound fighter that he's going in there with. For what? You know what I'm saying? Bud doesn't, in my opinion, doesn't have to have his Abney Yildirim, you know, on the schedule right now. We don't need that. Why would Bud want to go backwards? Bud is looking for bigger and better fights. See, bigger and better fights mean the same thing, so to speak. We're talking about fighters who are more qualified, have more to their credentials, and definitely, you know, when it comes to people mentioning their names, they're going to bring the consumers to the seats. They're not really talking about the size. They're talking about the name notoriety. What have these fighters accomplished? What is their boxing FICO? What names can you look on their resume and say, yeah, that person qualifies? That'll be a good step up for Bud Crawford. But when you say step up, automatically people are going to say, okay, who do he want to fight? He want to fight Canelo Alvarez. Oh, my God. See, that's always going to have the bias to it, because when you're up here knocking them down, fight stoppages, everybody in the welterweight division has been stopped. Isn't that enough? Isn't 1 enough? 2 enough? 3 enough? 4 enough? 5 enough? Isn't that enough to go in there and stop your opponent, to be able to win 2-time undisputed and call out somebody that's 3 weight divisions higher and not get so much freaking criticism and flack? I mean, don't you think that's enough, though? When Jess Bam Rodriguez moved up to fill in for Sor Rungvisai and he fought Carlos Cudras and he won the title, y'all wasn't complaining about him moving up 2 divisions. Y'all wasn't complaining about shit. And then not only that, Sor Rungvisai came back, he defended the title and stopped him. Y'all wasn't complaining about that. Then he moved down the division and won another title. And then went in there and just recently beat Sonny Edwards. You know what I'm saying? Y'all wasn't complaining about that. That's how you establish legacy. For real. Y'all not complaining about Emmanuel Navarrete. Him moving up division, fighting for vacant titles all over the place and continue to go up here and win. Y'all not worried. Y'all not complaining about any of that. Y'all wasn't complaining about freaking Naoya Inoue. You know what I'm saying? Unifying the bantamweight division, then moving up to super bantamweight. Y'all wasn't complaining about none of that. Y'all was up here saying, oh, he's doing it. Inoue can move up 2 other divisions now. Let's just say he wanted to bypass featherweight and move up to super featherweight, a junior lightweight. Y'all won't be saying a thing. Y'all will be trying to say, oh, man, now he's at 130. Who is he going to fight, y'all? Oh, my God, Inoue's moving up. Y'all will be up here to my welcome. Genki desu ka? Y'all will be welcome him to the freaking division. Konbanwa. But they pick their favorites. If Crawford is trying to say, or I wouldn't say trying to say, because he's let it be known with his actions and his performance value that he want to do greater things, because he's done great things already. He's the first. You know what I'm saying? He was on a short list of fighters who was undisputed in the 4-belt era, and then he became the first to do it 2-time undisputed. So him moving up and fighting a beast of a fighter, one of the best of this era, man. People would say he's the royalty of boxing. I mean, come on, man. Who can walk out in the silk doches and goddamn people won't say a word? Oh, that's Canelo. That's Saul Canelo. I mean, come on, man. Why wouldn't somebody who believes in themselves want to go up there and face a fighter like Canelo Alvarez, man? Without all these people telling me, oh, man, he shouldn't do that. I think a lot of y'all don't want him to do it because you see the potential of it being a very competitive fight. You know what I'm saying? And they don't want Crawford to be a part of that. Because Crawford goes in there and beat Canelo at 168, coming from 147, a.k.a. 135. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be rough, man, for a lot of y'all. See, I don't want to prognosticate that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to prognosticate that because, like I say all the time, I've sit here and witnessed that the Errol Spence fans have never recovered fully from July 29th. So I'm not here. We're in February already. Valentine's Day is coming up. I'm really not trying to have, you know, some of these women who their men was up here talking all that rah-rah. And the marriage has been rocky. The relationship has been rocky since July 29th. You know what I'm saying? He went into the account and then tell you he was betting all that money. And y'all really took a hit. I mean, god dang. The car ain't the same. When you come and you're not walking in the refuge of your own home, you got to sleep in the car. I know a lot of them haven't recovered. The shelter is different. All I'm trying to do is I want y'all to show love toward one another heading to this Valentine's Day. You know, I mean, the gifts are going to be different. Like, you know, you don't have money for roses. You know what I'm saying? You may be able to go to Walmart or Big Lots and get a hearts of chocolates and stuff like that. But thinking back on that fight, I don't want to put y'all in a dampered spirit. You know what I'm saying? And basically be extremely upset at Crawford as to why you all cannot enjoy your Valentine's Day. And also be mad at BOMAC and his team for coming up with a solid game plan to break hearts, if you get what I'm saying. I don't want you all being mad at Team Crawford for breaking hearts, because a lot of you got your heart broken. Now you're trying to use Ennis as a void. Real talk. Your heart will never be the same. It will always be leakage there. Always. I know the closer and closer you get to Valentine's Day, the more it hurts. You know what I'm saying? The more it hurts, man. The more and more it hurts. You know, thinking about it, it brings me to a song that starts off. I mean, like I said before, I'm trying to speak about world peace. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, Sam Smith, he had a song that's titled Too Good at Goodbyes. You know what I'm saying? And I think the opening is something to a point where it says, you must think that I'm stupid. You must think that I'm a fool. You must think I'm new to this, but I have seen this all before. All I'm saying is, when it comes down to you being forewarned, a lot of you didn't take heed to it because you wanted to dabble into the risk.
You wanted to know about the intrigue. You didn't want to leave all that suspense alone because of your fear. I get it. And see, Ennis, this is what I'm trying to keep you from. I'm trying to tell you that your FICO doesn't cut it. And I want you to really pay attention. You know what I'm saying? I want you to pay attention that don't fall into the trap that the Errol Spence fans are trying to push you in. Crawford is an extremely talented fighter. You know what I'm saying? He's the creme de la creme at the top of the food chain. And, you know, don't let these people tell you that you're bigger, you're stronger, you're faster. I mean, some of that may play a role depending on, you know, and how your offensive strategy is, how tactically, how you go in there and execute the game plan. You know what I'm saying? You may potentially be able to find some things out. But it comes a time, if you say you've been competing in the sport as long as you have, that you got to respect the fact that what you've seen thus far in Crawford's career, he's a dangerous fighter. He's a very dangerous fighter. I just don't want you to let all these cats that was hyping up Spence, and they had a reason to hype him up because he was out here, you know, he had some fights that people was very much tuned into. He was like, hey, we like how Spence fight. You know what I'm saying? He's a come forward pressure fighter. He let his hand goes. He ain't afraid to take a punch. He had that exciting style. You feel me? So now, you know, being that Crawford somehow gave these fighters blinders, you know what I'm saying? He somehow impaired their vision. He didn't allow them to see, you know, the radiation that was coming off his freaking resume. They couldn't really see the freaking the sun, how it was beaming down on his resume to let people know that, hey, it's something special about this fighter. We should really pay attention and stop taking him for granted. No, they was looking at it like, I don't respect that fighter. Jose Benavidez, man, please. You know what I'm saying? Who else in there? Amir Khan, man, please. You know what I mean? He don't have a chin, man. Igor Kavalowski, who is that? Who is him? Who is him? I don't know him. And then they was just treating every one of them, jettison the fact that they have any quality in boxing. And, you know, the wild part about that whole freaking journey that Crawford had up to the point where he beat Spence, it wasn't like he had on a mask, right? You know how Zorro used to come into town? No one really knew who he was, right? He had that mask. He'd come in, do what he had to do, and then he'd dip out. Lone Ranger came in on a horse. You know what I'm saying? Lone Ranger came in on a horse, man. But it's almost like Crawford didn't wear a mask in all of this. But somehow the individuals that was looking in on him, they didn't see. You feel me? They didn't see it. They didn't want to see it. They're like, I know what's on BoxRec. I watched the fight. But they was in denial. One thing God blessed us with was having the options to either take accountability or pretend like you don't know what it is, what it means. He allowed us to have selective amnesia. And a lot of Crawford fans have selective amnesia. You know what I'm saying? They didn't want to acknowledge the fact of how well he went in there and performed against Errol Spence. So what did they do? They came up with all these, you know what I'm saying, aspersions, accusations, running smear campaigns on Crawford. They really stooped to a level that they already visited before. Because listen, you're not going to try this for the first time. Truth be told, let WCS tell you, those of you that ran a smear campaign on that man's name after he went in there and fairly, squarely beat Errol Spence Jr., for you all to run smear campaigns and to defame, you know, another person's name the way you did, when you want to always act like you care about family, you know, you was running that smear campaign on a real person. This was on a real person. So that's what I'm saying. You all have been scumbags for a while. Those of you that know who I'm talking about,
You've been scumbags for a while, man. You didn't want to accept the fact that the results lie as they may. It was no change in the results. But just the fact of seeing these content creators go out here and saw what he did to Spence, and then now want to turn around and use Jaron Ennis as the sacrificial lamb to the slaughter. You're not even providing that man equality. You're not even trying to be fair. You know what I'm saying? You ain't trying to be fair. All you trying to do is say, man, go in there. Go in there now. Go get that now. Go ahead now. You can do it now. I'm going to be sitting back here. I can't do that for you, but I want you to go in there. Go ahead now. I just put some new energizers in your bag. Go ahead now. You got full of energy now. Go get that fight. Talk your shit. Call Crawford out. They're not doing you justice, bro. They're not doing you justice at all. That's all I'm saying. Let me get to this chat and see what interesting. Once again, shout out to Carlos, man, in the building. WCS salute. They need to leave Bud alone if they know what's good for them. And, you know, speaking of what's good for them, they don't want to know what's good for them. They're not here for good, Carlos. They're here for something other than. You know what I'm saying? Well, you know, they say hurt people want to hurt people. They hurt people. So now who they want to hurt? They want to go over there and push Jaron Ennis into a situation. They want to push him into a situation. They don't care about him. They don't even talk about him like that. You have individuals that's in his backyard that don't even talk about Ennis like that. He's a good dude. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to use the cliche grounded, level-headed, focused, you know what I'm saying, living the fighter's lifestyle, because we don't know what the fighter's lifestyle is. But we know he's disciplined. He's not out here making a mockery of his team and the gym he's out of. He's doing what he's supposed to do. But some of us, my assessment is basically my assessment. It's not based off what Eddie Hearn said, boxing scene, or anyone else. You have individuals that say, okay, I look at it this way. If I can't provide criticism for you and still see you in person and it's cordial, then I don't have nothing too much to say on that. Because I could see if it was personal. But some fighters, man, you know, everybody is in their 20s at one point in time, and we can look back and say, okay, what is the level of maturity to say that I was at that time to understand where I'm coming from right now? What was it? Shout out to the News by Shot News Sauce Experience in the building. Team Tucker official on deck, man. What's good with it, fam? BOMAC said he brings nothing to the table. Nothing. That part. Nobody wants to talk backwards. I mean, nobody wants to walk backwards to give someone a check. I totally agree, man. I mean, how is he supposed to make? Who's funding that fight? First of all, how is Crawford, a person who they criticize for the poor negotiations, moving funny in the sport, how is he supposed to get funding for a Jaron Ennis fight when they don't want to fund a rematch with Errol Spence? They don't want to fund that. But yet, just because there's a fighter out here that has Errol Spence's old belt who fought Kell Brook for the title, you think Crawford's going to get funding after what went with the negotiations? When he dropped out and went to Avanesian, got a paycheck, didn't revisit and got the money he wanted. Who's going to fund that? Because from what we understand and what we've heard is that Amazon, hey, they're not up here loosely willing to cut checks from what I'm hearing. That's what happened when you take advantage of a good situation. So who's funding this? You know what I'm saying? Is Amazon Prime funding this? Does PBC have to come out their pocket?
who is the funding source? You know what I'm saying? Who are they? They don't want no part of BOMAC because he stays strapped. I like that. That was slick. You know what I'm saying? He stayed strapped locally and globally. You know what I'm saying? And that man got 6 kids. He ain't taking no pay cuts. The price of the brick going up. Man, yeah, the price of bricks are going up. Man, come on, man. Why can't everybody else see it that way? Why can't y'all understand that the price of bricks have went up? Why can't you understand that? You'll sit up here and play around with the song, the price yesterday isn't the price today. But yet, you'll go out here and be in somebody's chat to my, oh man, Bud ducking Ennis. Man, fuck all that. He got a belt. He in the same division. Fight him. Nah, bro. No, that's not the way it works. Shout out to Omaha 402 in the building. The youth need to see it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. You know what I'm saying? Why would he go back? You know what I'm saying? I seen an article where I see the comment, I think, where they were saying that, BOMAC was, Team Crawford almost insinuating Team Crawford was thinking about fighting Boots now. You know what I'm saying? But I keep hearing certain things about Crawford and Canelo may be in negotiations. You got to be very, very cautious about believing in talks, in play. You know what I'm saying? In negotiation. Be very careful about running with that. In talks mean nothing. In play means nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's when the news officially breaks and BoxRec posts the fight that so-and-so, they have signed the contract and the fight is going down. These are the same people who don't even buy the fights. His fans don't extend past West Philly. Dang, you giving the perimeter West Philly? Ugh. Jeez. I don't want to see Boots fight Stantionis off a layoff. Rather see someone that's been active. See, what you want and what they believe they need that Cobain is different. Because if you had to present that to them, they say, nah, man, you're just over there in the fold too. You're not really in our best interest. What the fuck you talking about? You're not in our best interest, man. We ain't trying to hear that you talking. We want him to fight this person. They don't care about no layoff, man. They don't care about no layoff. All they care about is trying their best somehow, some way to keep on putting interviews out there and have Ennis ride on the wings of Crawford accomplishments. That's all. They want people to continue to talk about it like it's going to provide funding. That's why Bud came out with that tweet. He said, if they want to talk about it so much, tell them to goddamn write the check. You know what I'm saying? If they want to talk about the fight so much, tell them to write the check, goddamn it. That's all we need to do. This has nothing to do with Mayweather because it's not a fighter. I mean, it's not a boxing fan in here that's comparing Terrence Crawford to Floyd Mayweather. I don't know why people continue to compare black fighters to black fighters. You know what I'm saying? Because clearly there was black fighters back in the day that fought Mexican fighters, fought Russian fighters. You know what I'm saying? Latino fighters, whatever the case may be. So that has nothing to do with the conversation. You know what I'm saying? If you're still saying Bud don't have a big enough name, you stick to that. You stick to that. Because clearly, if Ennis continue to call out him, he has a big enough name. If Teofimo Lopez continue to call out him, if Barrios called him out, if Tank said he sees something and he wanted to think about going up to 47, that's 4 names right there for you without even putting any freaking thought process in it. There's plenty of people that's been calling him out. Jamel Charlo, he tried to put a wolf ticket out there after freaking, letting us know he was prepared for the track and field 200 meters, for the 2024 Olympics. What thoughts on Boots' resume? See, you have to understand that, really, if people come in here with a name like Hollywood, really, they're probably like, that title is all the like that they have. Because, Hollywood is a dirty place, to be honest. Just to get off track a little bit, Hollywood's a dirty place. I've been there. I went in there when I was 17 years old. And then I went there periodically. But I'm saying the earliest I've been there, yeah. That's a dirty place. Whenever they're giving somebody a star, they clean it up, make it look nice. Then after that, it goes back to being a regular place full of hustle and bustle. Rebel, what's good? What's good? Bud does have a name. Stop it. 2-time undisputed. And sometimes you just have to skip rope. You know what I'm saying? You have to learn how to run hurdles. You got people up here, putting up hurdles, acting like you don't know what a lead leg, trail leg is. Acting like we never jumped over creeks growing up in the South. I mean, come on, man. Come on, man. You talking about Boots by decision. It must be if he was either fighting his shadow in the mirror or he was fighting Stanthionis. You know what I'm saying? Blair Cobbs. Somebody to that. You know what I'm saying? It sounds good, but come on. Come on. You don't believe that. You don't believe it. You know what I'm saying? You don't believe it. Oh man. But look at it this way. One thing we can definitely agree on, right? Is that we should hear some news coming up soon as to how Boots is gonna handle his next fight. It's not gonna be about Crawford. It's not gonna be with Crawford. We should hear some news so people can stop talking about. They're giving Teofimo more press than they are Boots. This don't have nothing to do with a black thing. It has to do with a correct thing, a factual thing. You know what I'm saying? It's good to sit up here and call somebody out knowing that the fight ain't happening. It's really good. It's really good to get that free press. Clout Rangers form every day. The numbers are growing on the YTC. You know what I'm saying? Be aware of the Clout Rangers. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But what we do know, if I must remind them, okay? I must go back and remind them of 2-time undisputed on that fateful night. And you notice how I provided the background, how I messed with the hue and everything to bring in that red to represent the T-Mobile massacre. Yes, the T-Mobile massacre. That's why I blended that red in there. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what we seen that night. Let's just be patient and wait on the news that come out. You know what I'm saying? And Jaron Ennis, man, you keep on fighting, bro. You keep on, being in camp. It look like you dropping weight for a fight already. You already got a fight. You in there, dropping weight. I get it. And everything. I wish him nothing but the best in his next fight. But it's not going to be with Bud Crawford. You know what I'm saying? Because Heavy is the head who wears the crown. And I have to remove the banner so you can see the entire thumbnail. Don't worry about it saying 2023. But that's when he add another layer to his legacy in the T-Mobile massacre. You know what I'm saying? Heavy is the head who wears the crown. And for those of you that still doubting him, all you got to do is look and retrieve and put inquiries on the YouTube and look up his fights and put some respect on his name. That's what you need to do. Because what we already know is this right here. We know who number one is. We just need to make this fight with the man himself. That's all. We need to make this fight. Because as I go through the memoir, as I go through the list of slides that provide us with a reflection that happened on that ill-fated night where Terrence Crawford almost caught a body. You know what I'm saying? The jab was piercing, punctual. Don't y'all run out that chat now. Don't y'all run out that chat. Because y'all was typing. Stay around and look at these slides. Look at the JAB, Juliet Alpha Bravo, over. Sierra, do you copy, over? Turn the jab into jabs, plural, over. Do you copy? Come on. Look at this. Look at the distortion. The distortion from the hook. Brutal. I need to continue to show people how vicious this man is, because they continue to act like they still not convinced. You know, I mean, the shit has ran out. You know what I'm saying? The shit has ran out. You just can't think that he's gonna be a philanthropist when it comes to picking his next opponent. You know what? I just want to give back to the community. You know, he's already fought in Omaha. He's already fought in Omaha. He gave them some superb, excellent performances and picking up wins over there. If you didn't know, he's still undefeated. You know what I'm saying? He's still undefeated. Look at the hook. The man had nets on his shorts when he entered the ring. You should have knew some fishy shit was about to pop off. Look at this. Are y'all sending Ennis these freaking screenshots? Huh? Do you know this fight didn't go the distance? Do you know this man's face was already discolored? It had a crimson mask on it in the second round. Do y'all in the chat know this? This man, Errol, is contemplating leaving the arena. He's saying to himself, no, I'm going to take that back, because Errol showed heart, man. I ain't going to lie. Errol, he got up through the pain, through the enforcement of Terrence Crawford. He kept getting off the canvas. I have to give him his credit. I have to give him that credit, bro. Ain't no bitch in Terrence Crawford, bro. He kept getting off the motherfucking canvas and kept coming forward. It wasn't no hesitation. Dude, time the referee called fight, he went back and tried to get it in. Ain't no bitch in him, bro. But right now, we do have to address the evidence. Yes, I had to highlight snack system. Just off the apron where Crawford is about to go to the neutral corner, Jermell Charlo was just off site. And when Crawford arrived at that corner while the referee was providing his serenade to Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford was over there cussing the shit out of Jermell Charlo. Yes, sir. He was absolutely embarrassing that man who was with his girl. Embarrassing him. He was embarrassing Spence inside the ropes, and he was embarrassing Jermell Charlo outside the ropes. There's no comment that you can put in the chat. Do you really want to see your fighter go through this? Look at this, man. Help me understand. Why is Crawford continuing to walk away? Why do I see the soles of Errol Spence's shoes? How can he be the first fighter that forced Spence from strap season to patch season? How? Somebody please explain and break that shit down to me. Those of you that's typers in the chat. How, if Crawford is not a big name, that he changed it from strap season to patch season? How did that happen? One thing I know and from what I can see, is that Crawford is cut different. You're talking about a full-blown gladiator. You're talking about a warrior. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about a guy who believes in himself first and help others who don't understands what they're up against. He's that guy. You know, he's that guy. You know, say what you want to say. However you say it is not going to change anything. Dan on deck, I see you. What's good? What's good? Yeah, nap season. That's a good one. Nap season. Don't tempt me. You know what I'm saying? Don't tempt me to go back into my editing skills. And yes, you know what I'm saying? But see, the only thing about that, Cobain, is that if I do nap season, they're going to say, no, man, fuck that, man. You're doing too much, because he was still on his feet when Harvey Doc, you know, hugged him, embraced him, and he was shaking his head left to right. No, it's over. It's over, son. It's over. Calm down, it's over. Calm down. Relax, breathe. I can't allow this to happen anymore. I can't. It's too tough. You hear my voice? I'm feeling bad. I don't know what I'm coming down with, but I can't allow this to happen no more. I was screaming from the inside. I said, should I stop it? 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 That's what he was saying. He was going over and over again. In my head, over and over again. In my head. Yeah. It's all in my head. I'll think about it over and over again. Yeah, he was thinking about it over. Should I stop it? Should I stop it? You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm trying to... This is what I'm trying to adjudicate to the Spence fans. As the Bible says, this too shall pass. Please stop standing over that cloud. Please let it go. You cannot change it on BoxRec. Let this shit go. That's all WCS is saying. Let it go. If the rematch happened, listen, I've already established, okay, a workforce of individuals who I have taken my own time to go out here and gather. And we are absolutely going through an entire seminar in case Terrence Crawford has to face Errol Spence again. I have reached out to these people. They are willing to volunteer their time. We are going through an extensive seminar to better equip the aftermath if this rematch happened. We don't want you all becoming distraught, mentally enabled. You know what I'm saying? We don't want that to happen again. We want to help, and that's what I'm here for. WCS is here to help, and I'm putting my all into this. If Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence do happen out of the blue, I've already established a workforce of individuals that are qualified to handle the rehabilitation phase after that fight. Okay? And that's not just the fans. That's for the fighters too. For the fighters too. We got funding. It's free of charge. Everything. Just if y'all might remember, me and the hottest chat in the game, we prepared brown sack lunches, brown baggers. You know what I'm saying? We prepared sack lunches for the Spence fans after we understood that the beating will commence. We put a sandwich, freshly made bologna sandwiches in these things. An apple slice, one apple slice. You know? A Capri Sun. We provided them with nutrients to be able to recover from crying and just going through an emotional breakdown. We provided them with food because they got out the arena late and all that. So I thank you, all of you that help and assisted, and all your donations and everything to help provide those brown baggers out there, to give them, you know, an outlet to relax, to eat that freaking bologna sandwich, to enjoy it, to wash it down with a Capri Sun. All right, Ennis? Know that you have the same resources. You don't need to fill out any paperwork or nothing. If you get that fight with Crawford, we're going to provide the same resources for T-Mobile Massacre Part 3. Okay? So don't worry about a thing. Don't worry about a thing. And look, we're going to make sure there's no towels. If you do get that fight with Crawford, no towels. It's not going to be no towels on deck. Because we want this fight, you know, when your people, you know, the dysfunctional Spence fans, we want them to, you know, experience third level damage control, phase 3. Because if y'all still talking after the rematch, if it happens, then obviously you haven't learned. So in your case, we're not going to have any towels in it. We're not going to be able to throw the towel in. We're going to just put it out there that, hey, we need for this to play out, and we need a referee that's really going to let them fight. You know what I'm saying? Tony Weeks, nope. Kenny Bayless retired, good. We need a referee that's going to let them fight. We might need Steve Willis. We may need some referees to come out of retirement that don't have good vision. We might need to bring Kenny Bayless then. He'll fit it. Hey, Kenny, how about leaving your focals at home? You don't need them. You don't need them. What we do need for you to referee this fight. Hey man, don't worry about it. They don't believe that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Alvarez in the building. Shout out to Alvarez in the building. But hey, shout out to everyone who pulled up, as always. Big shout out to the hottest chat in the MF game. Saying shout out to Team Tucker. Better ask somebody. You know what I'm saying? Pay attention to him. Yes, sir. Pay attention. He's doing big things, of course. Shout out to his freaking younger brother, $1 Million Molly. Yes, sir. Pay attention to him, doing big things. You know what I'm saying? Boxing rising talents. You know what I'm saying? From the professionals down to the amateurs, you already know. And also, understand this. Look at all look at all that hardware, man. Look at all that hardware. And just to think, you go in there and be the pound for pound fighter for the hardware, right? I know this is an older picture, but bear with me, okay? I don't have to explain everything. But check this out. You go in there and fight for all this hardware, only to have a sanctioning body scheme and submit a letter knowing damn well that you cannot placate the matter. There's no way that you can oblige. That is just downright despicable after that man went in there and beat a pound for pound fighter with ease. And then he had to be robbed of one of his freaking titles. And look, he's still a unified champion. You know what I'm saying? He's the most sought after champion right now. And everybody's calling his name. But like they say, you know what I'm saying? You could have called him out yesterday, but that don't mean you want to call him out today. You know what I'm saying? Because none of y'all coming up with the paper, you know, the check. None of y'all coming up with any real negotiation material. You know what I'm saying? But y'all hold it down. Shout out to everyone that was in the building. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.